Hi everyone, this is Tracy. For today's project, we are going to be making a cardstock ornament. This one is layered and it does have a little extra detail from some of the other ones that I have made. For this project, I'm going to be using my Cricut Explorer Air 2. I do have a standard grip mat that I'm using. You're either going to want to use a standard grip mat or a newer light grip mat, the bluer one, just so it has more stick so that your cardstock will get a better cut. I have various colors of cardstock. You can use whatever color you like, obviously. I'm going to be using some green and red and gold glitter today. I've got my brayer, my weeding tools. This is the glue that I'm going to be using to glue my cardstock ornament together. And I'm going to be adding a little rhinestone embellishment to the top of mine. So for adding the embellishment, I'm going to be using the Beacon 3-in-1 to add that to the ornament. I do have some different hangers, little colors, different colors that I found. I found a little 4-pack. I'll link this, of course, on the blog post just if you guys want to check those out. And I do have 2 different size foam squares that I'm going to be using. This one is a medium size, and then this one is a smaller size. I'll be using that to add dimension to our ornament. But I think that's it. Oh, besides that, I have some painter's tape. You might see me use that in the video. If I feel like my cardstock isn't sticking to my mat well enough, I'll put a little piece of painter's tape on that to help it stick better. But I think that's it. So let's jump into Design Space. I'll show you how to get them all set up so we can make some beautiful ornaments together. All right, guys, so here we are in Cricut Design Space. This is how your SVG is going to look when it lands on your screen. I'm going to go ahead and right-click and ungroup this, and I want to show you the different layers that we have here. Now, like I said, obviously you can use whatever colors you like for your ornament. I'm going to change my colors because I'm going to be doing a red and green theme. So what I'm going to be doing here, you've got your little, background where these holes will show this color through the back here. So for mine, this back part right here, I'm going to make like a brighter green. Let's just do that right there. I'm going to leave this red. This one right here, I'm going to make a darker green. And then this is going to be that same light green as the back. This I'm going to leave red. This is going to be the same color as this red back here. And this I'm going to do in a gold glitter. So let me line these all up. Kind of gives you an idea of what it's going to look like. But again, you can do this in whatever colors that you like. I'm going to be using my Cricut Explorer Air 2. So you want to come up here, make sure that you have the right machine selected. And I am going to save this. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click Make. And then this shows you your 4 different mats that you have. You can see all the different colors on the different mats. This one I'm going to be cutting out of glitter cardstock, so this is the only one that's really going to be different compared to the others. So we're going to click Continue. So my setting for my glitter cardstock, I'm going to be using glitter cardstock. These are my bookmarked materials, meaning this is what I use the most. But if you don't have any bookmarks up here, you just come up here and then type in what you're looking for. And it'll give you the different kinds on here. Okay, so I'm going to be using glitter cardstock for that. For the rest of them, the red one is Encore 12 by 12 cardstock. That one I'm going to be using heavy cardstock with less pressure. And the other 2 are, I believe these are both Cricut cardstock, which I'm going to use the same setting for those as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get these cut out, and then I'll show you how to assemble everything. Okay, we're going to start with our glitter cardstock. I'm actually going to turn my mat upside down. It's a little bit stickier on the other end. Use my brayer to Okay, I always like to test to make sure that it cut all the way through. And you want to do that before you eject your mat here. So it did. So I'm going to go ahead and eject it. And then flip this over. And I'm just going to use my little tool here to help poke the rest of those little pieces out of there. And I always like to make sure I remind you guys, when you cut glitter cardstock, make sure when you're done, open your clamp B and pull your blade out, pull the whole housing out, and then just push on that. Make sure that there's no pieces of glitter stuck on your blade, because that can affect your cut. Turn this off and push that out of the way. My extra little bits out of here. All right, so let's get all our pieces ready here. A little bit closer so you guys can see a little better. Okay, the longest part of this whole project is cutting it out with your machine. Putting it together is super easy. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to glue this on the back of this. And I suggest putting your glue on this part so you can avoid those holes there. You don't need to go on the outside, because that won't be showing. I mean, you don't need to go on the outside because the glue is not touching that part. I told you guys before, I can't craft and talk at the same time. That's when I start making my mistakes. Okay, so that just gets glued to that. And then for the next part, we're going to go ahead and do some foam squares. Just make sure when you line this up, you can see there are holes here which need to line up with these holes. So you don't want to cover it up because you won't be able to see them. So just make sure you get them aligned. Before you put your little squares on there. Okay. And for this one, I'm using, these are the wider of the foam squares. Obviously you could use whatever color or whatever size you want. You could even double these if you wanted to have more depth with these, but I'm just doing one layer. Try to avoid the holes there so they don't show through. And then I like to put a little dot of glue on the back of each one of the adhesives. That gives me a little extra time to move things around if I need to. I think these would be cute in various colors, whatever your theme is for your Christmas tree. Make sure my head's not blocking the camera here. But you could do reds and greens, you could do blues. I like red and white myself. Okay, and then just push that down. I do have some other layered ornaments I will show you at the end of this too. I have a bundle that you guys can purchase if you're interested. They're a little bit more intricate, they have more layers to them, but I'm excited to show those to you, so I'll show those to you in just a second. Let's go ahead and finish putting this together here. So for this one, I'm going to do the smaller foam squares on the back of this. I'll do one big one right in the center. They are the same height, so this one doesn't matter if it's got a bigger one there. Some of the foam squares you've got different height, so obviously if it's thicker, Make sure that your smaller ones match up so that they actually touch on your project. I've told this story before, but if you haven't heard me say it, when my kids were younger, we would have family Christmas party at my house. We would do Christmas Eve, and my mom and dad, when they were still alive, would come, and my brother and his wife, my sister and her husband, and of course their kids would all come over. And the rule to get into my house was you had to make me a handmade ornament. Didn't care what it was made out of, but it had to be a handmade ornament. That way you could get in the house and you could enjoy all the yummy food. But I had ornaments made from, my dad made me ornaments from, he made little Christmas carolers from peanuts. I got an ornament from a golf ball once. My mom made a handmade one from like a little yarn for a hat. I have them all somewhere. I really need to dig them out. I put them away so that they wouldn't get broken. But what's the point of having them if you don't display them, right? I had an angel made from a coffee filter once. Lots of different ones. They got very creative. This was before my Cricut times. So designing ornaments and making ornaments just brings me back to that time. It just makes me happy. I love being able to make ornaments and knowing that someone else is making ornaments from my designs to give to family members or even to sell, whatever it is, if that's what you choose to do. Okay, so for this one, I'm just going to put glue right on the back here, and then I'm just going to do little dots. Don't want to do a whole lot because it'll seep out, which with this glue right here, it dries clear, so you don't really have to worry about it, but obviously you don't want to do a whole lot. So I'm just doing little dots here. It's more on the tip than it is me actually squeezing it out. Okay, and then just line that up. Like I said, it's going to dry clear, but I always like to take my little tool and pull out any extra. Okay. And then we have the little glitter layer. Same thing with this. I just do dots of glue all the way around, and then little dots on the other places. And then there's that part. And I'm going to put a little embellishment right in the middle. Like I said, I've got these little rhinestones here. And I'm going to do a red one. I'm going to glue it right in the center. So I'm going to use this Beacon 3-in-1 for that. I'm just going to do a little dab right in the center there. Don't need a whole lot. It is kind of thick, so if it starts to come out, wipe it off good. Place this right on the center there. Obviously that's optional, you don't have to put that on if you don't want to. I just think it adds a little something extra to it. And then you can decide which end you want to put your hanger on. Do I want to do red or gold? Don't know, what do you guys think? I think I'll do the red. I can change it later if I decide that I want it to be gold. I used some metallic hangers from last week. I'm trying to find it in my stash here, but the way that it was wrapped, Well, I can't find it. I was trying to find it, but the way that it was wrapped, it had it so tight that there was kinks all through it. So it was making me crazy, not being able to have my string lay nice. So I found these on Amazon. It's a set of 4 of them, 4 different colors, and they're perfect. Just feed it right through your little hole there. Again, decide where you want to put it. Make it as long or as short as you want, and then I just grab it like that, and then you just tie it. And there it is. And you guys know I like to do test cuts. So I'm going to show you some of the other colors that I did. I did this one here, little red and, blue and yellow. And then this one, I did red and blue and white, red, white, and blue. This one I didn't put the embellishment on, so you can see the different ways that it looks. You can see that on there. Hopefully it's focusing good for you guys. But I also want to show you guys, these are the other ornaments that I was talking about. I have a bundle of ornaments that you can purchase, the layered design. It comes with 4 different designs. Those right there. I'll leave a link for those on the blog post and also in the description here in the video. If you guys are interested in purchasing that bundle of SVG designs, you can find those on the website. But that's it for this week's project, guys. Super easy. Like I said, the hardest part was actually just cutting it out, waiting for it to cut. It wasn't hard to cut, it was just waiting for it to cut. But that's it. If you guys like this week's freebie, make sure you leave me a comment in the video. Drop a like, subscribe if you like. I always like having new crafting buddies to follow along with me. I try to post a new freebie each week with a tutorial. But that's it, guys. This week's freebie, you can find it in the freebie library. It is design number 230. I will leave a link for all the supplies that I used and where you can find them on the blog post. But thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you. Until next time, have a wonderful day on purpose.